Hello, sunshine. My name is Anita. I am so glad you're here. You've heard of Melchizedek and Jesus being called a priest in the order of Melchizedek? I had no idea what the point of Melchizedek was until one day I was in a prayer meeting and God showed me what the point of Melchizedek is. It was one of the most random experiences I've ever had, and it completely changed how I viewed my relationship with God. The priesthood in the order of Melchizedek is all about intimacy. The Levitical priesthood is about lineage and about inheritance. You are born a Levitical priest. It's what your father, your father's father, your father's father's father, your father's 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 father, etc. did. Tradition tells us Joseph was a chippy, so that's what Jesus would train as unless the circumstances were really screwy. Abram, as he was called at the time, was a guy who was used to the voice of God. He knew it. He knew what it sounded like, what God looked like in visions and dreams, and he obviously knew it well enough to trust God when he said, "Pick up stakes and move to a place I haven't told you yet." So when he met a random king in the wilderness named Melchizedek, you can find the story in Genesis chapter 14, verses 18 to 24. It begs the question, what was it about this particular guy which made Abram, who knew God pretty well, give him 10% of everything he owned in acknowledgement of something invisible, intangible, and unreported? I posit it was because he had come across someone who in isolation knew God better than he ever would, who had an intimacy with God which made him a priest of the Most High God in a time when there were no priests of Yahweh. In the middle of nations worshipping Baals and all kinds of other things, when Egypt was a major power, there in Salem was a single, random, practicing priest of the triune creator of all things. This is what Jesus was. Born into the tribe of Benjamin, he would have been required to learn the Torah by the age of 13, and that would have been the end of his religious education. Anything from there on would have been self-motivated and limited by social constraints. However, by the age of 13, he was already having in-depth, constructive, religious discussion with men who were trained to do this and had been trained on purpose for their entire lives, because that's what they were born to be. They didn't just know the books of the law, but the rest of what we call the Old Testament and other books we don't know about as well. Also, there would have been teachings from different opinions and reasonings, even as there are today, and the boy Jesus was holding his own in that arena. For those of us who are graftees, Romans chapter 11 verses 11 to 24, our access is through the indwelling Christ, the indwelling priest who is of the order of Melchizedek. If we are to hold our own in the arena of those who are named his people, or those who don't know him at all, or those who follow completely different walks, we need to be as intimate with our Lord and God as Enoch, as intimate as Jesus as a man, as intimate as Peter, as intimate as Adam and Eve before the fall. It is written in Genesis chapter 5, verse 24, "And Enoch walked in habitual fellowship with God, and he was not, for God took him home with him." Amplified. If people look at us and hear what comes out of our mouths, would they say, "You know God better than anyone I've met in my life"? I think this is the real test of revival, or better yet, reformation. Do successive generations know God and practice their relationships with God better than each previous? Are signs and wonders increasing as daily practice? Is the land healing? The manifestation of the character of God invading the judicial, political, entertainment, and social practices of the areas in which we live? It is written in Mark chapter 15, verses 37 to 39. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. This curtain kept everybody except one priest once a year from the presence of God. We have access to all of God now without any person in between. Is intimacy with God my primary focus, or am I still trying to manage things down to my own comfort level? Is it your primary focus? God bless you very much. I'll see you again soon. Hello there. If you're enjoying or appreciating these videos, leave me a comment and a share and subscribe. Those small things really help the word get out to others who might need to hear what we're talking about together here. Click the buttons, click the bells, tell your friends, let me know. Love you all. Catch you again soon. Bye.